don't know if I got it back far enough. You got it. Like we actually know each other. There you go.
Should I put your business name or should I put your name?
Media just a second. Always.
Media do social always.
We're getting everything set up, guys. Yeah. We're are you live over here?
Not yet.
All right. We're still waiting on a couple of cameras to go live. You probably should be. Maybe.
I'm sorry.
Rach can get her stuff together. We might get somewhere today, guys. It's been a very long day in the small town of Belton, Texas, with the team from Empower Her. Did I say that right this time?
Empower. Just say empower.
She made me spell it with a big H.
I really apologize, but I need help. Spell it like
Video Chops is the editing software.
I really need assistance right now. How do I start it? Do you know how to start a Facebook Live?
What?
I already typed it out and it does not look like what it's supposed to look like.
This camera. Wait, hold on. Remember, we weren't able to do it on that. Your camera's not.
Okay, I kind of want to cry.
Okay, let's just do it on Facebook on your phone.
See, guys, going live is not always easy. There's a lot that goes into it.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Tell them what we're doing because I don't know.
We're going to talk about the importance of going live and how to utilize this content on live on all your other platforms.
He's teaching us how to go live.
Bam. I wouldn't say I'm teaching you how to go live
Oh.
because I can't even figure that out over here on her computer.
So we have this camera set up. We have Facebook set up over here. How many different cameras do you have going on here?
So we're on 3 different platforms right now.
You're on
And
LinkedIn, you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube.
Yeah. All right now from one live camera, which is amazing.
From one live camera, you're able to go on how many different platforms?
You can
3?
go up to 15.
15?
Yes.
Well, are you telling them what you're using or not?
I am in just a second.
Click.
But there you go. You got some insights of what we have going on.
This is like probably the first time I've gone live in 19 years.
What do you have going on with this tripod? I've never seen one. I have to get it out. Brooks, look, it even says rotate the phone.
What do you mean?
Guys.
It's supposed to be sideways.
No, look at this. Look at this. This is what she did.
Hey, it kind of works.
I don't even know what to
Okay,
say right now.
Wait. I'm pulling it up so we can make sure that we're not the wrong sideways and then we are good to go. Because if we're the wrong sideways, then everything's upside down and it just ain't going to be good.
All right, guys. While she's getting that set up, what we did today, we shot a podcast with the Empower team talking about how to grow your group, what to do with your group once you get there, and why it's important to do certain things in your community. They are from Austin. You guys have got to tune into this podcast. It was fire. It'll be released soon. But why do you guys think it's important to build a community?
Whew. So when you're building a community, you're not only, whether that's for your business, whether that's whatever your intention of the community is, you're not just having clients. You're not just having these people that you're selling to, vice versa. You're building an actual community where you're getting to know people, you're connecting other people with people that they can collab with, and you're building this family orientation, this love within what you're building, which makes it so much more valuable in the long term.
Yeah.
Way more connection, way more value in general going around the table.
You're increasing. So we like to build communities for business owners, and you're increasing your fulfillment not only in the work that you do, but the people that you're also impacting. You take someone that doesn't know you, they don't trust you, and maybe they don't even like you. And when you have these communities, especially when they're in person, I feel like you break down every single barrier and you create that trust instantly.
Love it. And you guys, part of your coaching program and group, you teach women and business owners how to grow these groups, correct?
Correct.
And we talk about a lot that on the podcast. That's later on. What we want to talk about today, and I've been harping on this, especially on my platform, guys, is why is it important to go live? Do you guys have a reason why you think it's important to go live?
I feel like social media can be so skewed right now. Me and you were having this conversation earlier on how people only see what you post, right? I can post an edited bikini picture and for my bodybuilding show, but nobody knows that behind the scenes I'm hungry, I'm really exhausted, I worked out 4 times that day. Nobody knows the behind the scenes. And when you're going live, you're 100% raw. You can't edit out if you say the wrong word. You can't edit out if you stutter. You can't edit out, any type of wrongdoing or anything like that. It's just completely raw, and I think that's genuinely what people will connect with.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I feel like in a world of just like filters, and I mean, we still use filters all the time. But yeah, no, people want to relate to something. They want to be able to relate to you. And when you have that perfect image of yourself constantly all the time, like bringing that vulnerability, I feel like instantly allows people to connect deeper with you.
I love it. There's so much we talked about on the podcast, so you guys got to stay tuned to that. So I keep harping on that. But the reason I stress live, guys, is we as people on Instagram definitely judge ourselves ahead of time. And like, you don't post certain content because you do judge yourself. And one thing that's great about this platform that we're using right here, and I'll tell you, it's called Restream. That allows you to go live on all your platforms. You can't say it's edited. You need to take that content that's live, download it, which this platform will allow you to. You can do it on yours too. You can do it on Instagram. You can download the video, but then you chop that up and you use those clips in micros for all of your other platforms. So you could create a Facebook Live in your group that's your community, give them value, and then cut that clip up and put it onto your stories, put it onto your TikTok, put it onto your LinkedIn. It organically creates a bunch of content that you can use through all platforms. Mm-hmm. So that's why I recommend going live, so you don't judge yourself ahead of time, plus you're getting content out there. You guys know more than anybody is consistency matters, and you can't judge yourself all the time. You got to get it out there.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So let's say someone here or someone watching wants to create that one like long form content. Maybe that's a podcast, maybe that's a Facebook Live, maybe they're live on Instagram, or they use this Restream app, which allows them to go live on everything. Yeah. So they download that and they just chop it up, or like how should they, implement it throughout the week? Or what would that look like on their end, and like how much time does something like that take?
So what you want, the amount of post, or you just want like how do you go start to finish? So first and foremost, educate, entertain, and engage, the 3 E's. So I would look out of that long form content. We just shot this whole thing. I would look for a 10-second to 15-second micro. Mm-hmm. I would download 3 of those. I would post those throughout the week. So 3 minimum would be my ideal. And then the following week, I would repost my live stream.
Oh, okay.
So I gave them like then I could hit it again, right? Because 9 times out of 10, most people missed it the first time. Mm-hmm. The algorithm didn't show to them. It's pushed down the pipeline. Hey, don't forget Throwback Thursday, or don't forget last week we had that great live feed. You want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Utilizing repurposed content is, a lot of people don't do it because they think they need to make more. No, you just need to deliver it more.
Yeah, and I feel like in between those things, like building the anticipation. So constantly mentioning, hey, did you see that new thing? Or we were just about to drop, our live again if you missed it. Yeah. And actually spending a lot of time like getting people hyped up to go watch that next.
And then snippet. Also too, like if you repurpose, ask them, hey, what would you like to see on our next live? Yeah. So you want the customer or consumer to give you some type of feedback so you can use that for your next content purpose, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So over here we have our Entrepreneur Girls group watching live. And a lot of these women have their own businesses all over the spectrum of different niches. And I feel like in the beginning as a business owner, I know for me when I started running my business, I had a really hard time starting lives or even making video content in general, because it wasn't that I didn't know what to talk about, but it was about I didn't know how. I didn't know how to section things out. And you just mentioned, the 3 E's. Can you kind of go back on that and talk more on that?
I guess let me give you an example of like what to find to talk about while you're trying to build your community. The most important thing that I think you could do is have a conversation with somebody and make it genuine. Like, I really want to know about how you built your business and how you grew your group. And we had that. So having that context back and forth gives me the content that I need to deliver.
Yeah.
And that gives you something to talk about. And I think once somebody realizes like, hey, I'm going to watch them having a conversation, they get more comfortable in their skin to get on that camera because so many people are uncomfortable to grab that camera and turn it on.
Yeah.
And then if you know it's let's say it's a cooking, let's say your business is selling baking supplies like we talked about earlier. Well, then go interview a cook, go interview a waiter. People think that they have to interview someone big. I don't think so. Like a waiter will give you more knowledge than probably 90% of other business owners. And so just utilizing your friends and family first and foremost, but actually having a conversation and caring what they talk about.
Yeah. Definitely. And so you have a podcast too. We talked about that. Obviously your viewers know that. Do you recommend going live? Like if I'm one of my women and they want to come on to a podcast and co-star or be a part of something like that, sharing things like that, going live at our events or going live at networking events or going live when they're, being on a co-host or something like that and sharing all those little pieces of their journey.
100%. And here's 2 reasons why. 1, you don't judge yourself when you get content out. But 2, the algorithms want you to go live. The longer, I think people are scared to have that only 1 view is on right now. We had 7, right?
No, I got 1 over there.
and so people judge themselves before it's on there. But the algorithm saying, hey, they're going live. They're keeping somebody's attention. Let's keep doing it. So I 100% recommend any business owner at least once a week right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's minimum.
Definitely. I feel like when we speak with our entrepreneur group, a lot of women or, even us, we talk about wanting to be public speakers. And I feel like going live is the start to that because if you're going to stand on stage in front of, thousands, millions of people and speak on your topic, you have to be able to speak in front of that 1 person, that 2 people, that, 100 people, and as that grows.
I remember I started doing my networking group before we had 60 or 70, standing up in front of 1 person was so much more nerve-wracking than the 70. I'm so much more comfortable standing in front of 100 people than I am 1. Because I'm like, do I make eye contact with them? Do I put my hands in my pocket?
What do I do with my
where do
hands?
I go to have this at? And so I think getting comfortable speaking to 1 person, if you can speak to 1 person, you can speak to 100.
Yeah. No, I feel that. If you have 1 set of eyes, you're like, oh, they got to be judging me. But if you have hundreds, you're like, well, at least all 100 are looking at me right now. I'm going to say whatever I want.
And that's what's cool about live. The cameras are so much small. Today when you guys got into the studio, how nerve-wracking is it? It's cool, but you guys are comfortable with it. But how nerve-wracking is it to have
at least look like it.
But how nerve-wracking is it to have all those cameras and all those lights on and people you feel like, oh, everybody's gonna judge me. So live, I think, does break down that wall of getting comfortable talking.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like in a world right now, we're so used to the drastic measure of a super edited commercial or YouTube video or a super raw Snapchat story versus I would much rather watch someone's live where they sit down and just are genuinely talking than something I know is edited and they could have cut out the most important things. They could have cut out what they didn't like. And now I see them as this perfect figure when nobody's perfect.
I couldn't agree more. And it doesn't take that. You literally, I don't know what you did over here, but this tripod. All 3 cameras right here, we're talking to probably, I don't know, she probably has 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Right, we're talking to 30,000 people with phone cameras, and our message is getting out there, and that's amazing.
I feel like, also we're strategic with our events just in person too, with the questions that we ask. And I know that you kind of do the same thing. What's the first question you ask when you're hosting your networking events? It's something about, what is not a win, but what is maybe a loss that you had or something that you're struggling with or, breaking down first, before we go into all the highlights, because we see that every single day, nobody really freaking cares. What actually is happening in your life?
So in my networking group, you have to give a win and a loss. The wins are okay, but the losses are so much more important.
And that's what brings
us
people together.
And today, even having conversations with you girls, we got together on some losses. Right? We had some really good laughs about what you guys did when you lost. Yeah. And I think if more people will ask, did you lose today? And you're like, fuck, I lost. It wasn't a good day for me. It breaks that wall down and opens up communication.
Yeah. I think that's one thing. So when we talked about our business, we would go to these networking events and we were like, like we own this company and blah 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 blah. We have this amazing community, blah 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 blah. And then we sat down and we realized when we're raw and we're genuine and we say, hey, listen, we do have this really amazing community, but we don't know what to do when it comes to blank blank blank.
Yeah.
That's when we make true genuine friendships, and that's how we connected with you.
Yep.
Is we were like, hey, you do something very similar to us, and we really want to learn from you, and we're struggling with this. Maybe you're struggling with this. How can we help each other? And that's what takes businesses to the next level, is just that
Agreed.
raw, genuine side.
Yeah.
And I think you can do it with a live.
Yeah, totally, especially with the live. But yeah, I remember we used to walk into events. Literally, our egos were, touching the roof.
No.
And
Never.
Our egos were so huge because we thought that we had to have this mask and that everybody around us was living in this perfect world. And we're like, they can't know that we are struggling with X, Y, and Z. Like, no one needs to know that. And all of a sudden, it's like every single conversation is completely superficial because we're not even showing like who the real version of ourselves is. So we're not even making these in-person connections. And the same with your lives, and the same with your highlight stories, and the same with, whatever you're putting out there is, are you going to break down your barrier, or are you going to put on this mask for everyone? So that way you never actually connect with anyone.
Yep. Lives will fix that.
So to recap, how many times a week or a month
Bring it
do
back.
you recommend business owners start out making lives?
I'm gonna say this number. It's gonna be more, but if you just did 10% of what I tell you right now, you're gonna start winning. We talked about that today. 1 live a week, 3 cuts.
Yeah.
Off of that live. Like, if you could do half of that, you're gonna kill. But you have to at least do 1 live a week. And the problem is, it's not gonna. Nobody's probably gonna watch the first week. Nobody's gonna watch the second week. Nobody might not watch the 3rd month. But as long as you stay consistent with yourself, you will mentally grow. You'll get better at speaking. Eventually, someone's going to tune into your what you're talking about, and those are who you want to attract to your business.
Yeah.
And so 1 live, 3 cuts. Where do you recommend sharing those cuts?
All your platforms. So utilizing the Reels. I love Reels right now. View counts go up through the Reels. TikTok is all organic. If they're great, engaging content or education content, it's going to be easy to get views there. And then what happens is, over time of you being consistent on all the platforms, well, people are going to be like, well, I want to see what they were actually talking about live, so let me go watch their actual live.
Yeah.
But you don't know until you start putting it out there. So 1 to 3 is my ratio.
So 1, 3 recuts, and then how long do you think those lives should be starting out?
We just had someone watch the whole time, and it's been 17 minutes.
Has it been 17?
If
has
you
been 17.
if you can keep the engagement, then do it. If it only needs to be 5 minutes to show who you are, then only make it 5 minutes. I don't have a set time. If you can bring the power or the information in 5 minutes, do it in 5. If it takes 45 minutes, do it in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I think long form is great, plus it gives you engagement. But utilizing it, long form needs to go on YouTube. Long form content needs to go because it helps your SEO, it helps drive your website traffic. Get your long form on YouTube.
Got it.
Cool. All right, the media master
No,
himself.
not at all.
Woo!
You guys make it easy.
Knowledge.
I just want to bring some value today. I think we did that. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
Go watch the podcast. It's going to be fire. We'll have it out in the next week or 2. It'll be good. We'll tag them.
Really quick for our girls, can you tell your tags? Where can they find that podcast? Where can they get to know you?
So Media 2 Social. That's pretty much it.
The number 2 or spell
Number
2?
2. Media, the number 2 social.com. It's
Awesome.
everything we have is right there.
All
Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you.
Oh, how do I turn you off?
I have so many
Are we late to
comments
this
from-
meeting?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are.
I'm still live.
We're